The Cold War. The Cold War was a period of geopolitical tension between the Soviet Union and the United States. The term "cold" is used because there was no large-scale fighting directly between the two supported major regional conflict proxy wars. The conflict was based around the ideological and geopolitical struggle for global influence. In addition to nuclear arsenal development and conventional military mobilization, the struggle for dominance was expressed through indirect means such as psychological warfare, propaganda campaigns, espionage, long-range economic embargoes, rivalry at sporting events, and technological competitions such as the space race. The West was led by the United States and other First World Western Bloc nations that were generally liberal democratic but linked to a network of authoritarian states, most of which were its former colonies. The East was led by the Soviet Union and its Communist Party, which had influence throughout the Second World. The U.S. government supported right-wing regimes and coups around the world, while the Soviet government financed communist parties and revolutions. As almost all colonial states achieved independence in the period from 1945 to 1960, because inevitably they were the scene of battles between their civilians for ideologies influenced by the USSR and the USA. The first phase of the Cold War began immediately after the end of World War II in 1945. The United States created the NATO military alliance in 1949, apprehending a Soviet attack and termed its global policy against containing Soviet influence. The Soviet Union formed the Warsaw Pact in 1955 in response to NATO. The main crises of this phase were the Berlin blockade from 1948 to 1949, the Chinese Civil War from 1927 to 1950, the Korean War from 1950 to 1953, the Suez Crisis of 1956, the Berlin Crisis of 1961 and the Crisis of Cuban Missiles in 1962. The USSR and the US fought for influence in Latin America, the Middle East and the decolonized states of Africa and Asia. The Space Race. On the nuclear weapons front, the United States and the USSR pursued nuclear rearmament and developed long-range weapons with which they could reach each other's territory. In August 1957, the Soviets successfully launched the world's first intercontinental ballistic missile, and in October they launched the first Earth satellite, the Sputnik 1. The launch of Sputnik ushered in the space race. The end of the Cold War happened with the end of the Soviet Union. In February 1990, with the dissolution of the USSR, the Communist Party was forced to renounce its 73-year monopoly on state power. The USSR was fatally weakened by a failed coup in August 1991 and a growing number of Soviet republics, particularly Russia, which threatened to secede from the USSR. The USSR was officially declared dissolved on December 26, 1991. The then U.S. president at the time, George H.W. Bush, expressed his emotions: "The greatest thing that has happened in the world in my life, in our lives, is this: by the grace of God, the United States has won the Cold War." This video is just a summary, and of course many things were left out. Don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to our channel and see you next time.